Thank you very much, Eric, for the kind introduction. Distinguished guests, colleagues, ladies and gentlemen, first of all, let me wish you a very happy New Year 2022. I hope you're all safe wherever you are and wish you very good health in this new year. For this webinar, on behalf of the Asian Development Bank, it is my profound privilege and pleasure to welcome you all to the second edition of our webinar series on assessing the climate and sustainable development impacts of projects and policies. This series, as you know, is being jointly organized by the Asian Development Bank, the Institute for Global Environmental Studies, Japan, and the UNEP-DTU Partnership. You would recall we held the first webinar of this webinar series late last year, where representatives from ADB, UNEP-DTU, and the government of Indonesia shared their experiences on quantifying co-benefits of climate mitigation projects. We also discussed efforts being made by some of the countries to assess and recognize the sustainable development impacts of climate projects in their national jurisdictions. So moving forward, today's webinar is focused on, as Eric very rightly mentioned, is on tools and methods for implementing projects and policies with climate and sustainable development co-benefits, the case for air pollution. Air pollution, you know, is one of the major environmental, social, and public health challenges of our generation. While it is a global challenge, air pollution is particularly severe in developing Asia, with many cities in the region consistently ranking as the most polluted cities in the world. In fact, about 98% of cities in Asia experience fine particulate matter PM 2.5, as we say, beyond internationally recognized WHO air quality standards, which is quite worrisome, as you will join me in feeling so. Climate change and air pollution are two global challenges that are intrinsically linked because many of their underlying drivers are common. So in that context, the relationship means that climate mitigation policies would not only result in lowering the GHG emissions, but can also bring about public health co-benefits from reduced ground level air pollution. And that's why the conversation today assumes all the more significance for all of us. In Asia and the Pacific, as many of you know better than me, the need to address air pollution in the immediate term has been gaining significant momentum, which is quite good. It has transformed from a singular focus of air quality monitoring to a more sophisticated understanding of air quality management in various sectors. We also observe that there's a wider recognition of building synergies with climate mitigation policies through a co-benefits approach, particularly via public health co-benefits. This discussion that we are planning to have today assumes all the significance given the backdrop of the recently concluded COP26 in Glasgow, where the Paris Agreement rulebook was finalized and adopted. For countries seeking to take advantage of international carbon markets as envisaged under Article 6 of the Paris Agreement, this issue of sustainable development also assumes a significance. It will be necessary to consider the sustainable development impacts of climate actions, which would like to take advantage of international carbon finance through mechanisms under Article 6 of the Paris Agreement. So in this context, well-designed tools and methodologies are really required for assessing sustainable development benefits for projects and policies with climate mitigation and air pollution co-benefits. So as we know, several air quality assessment tools are already available, which can aid policymakers to maximize the co-benefits from such actions. These tools can also contribute to the design of the impact of sustainable development impacts that can be utilized for projects or policies or programs that would be pursued under Article 6 of the Paris Agreement. So as we move together in tackling the twin challenge of climate change as well as the air pollution, we need to have continued innovation in designing tools and methods to assess co-benefits as well as enhance the capacity and also do the knowledge sharing amongst the key stakeholders as we are planning to do today. So in this context, today's webinar is important as we will seek to offer policymakers and other stakeholders an introduction to some of the existing tools to assess co-benefits for air pollution and deliberate on the ways to take it forward for addressing these twin challenges. For this, I'm delighted that colleagues from Clean Air Asia, the International Institute for Applied Systems Analysis, and Kyushu University will also join us to share their experience in using tools for air pollution. So in conclusion, I sincerely hope that the deliberations of today's webinar will support in enhancing our common understanding on the tools that are available for assessing air pollution and taking those into consideration while designing policies suitable for national circumstances. I wish everyone a fruitful discussion and look forward to very interesting deliberation during the course of this webinar. So once again, thank you very much for taking our time to join us for this webinar and wish you all the best for this one. Back to you, Eric. Thank you.